Hi, I'm Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style.
And I'm Jill Chivers from Shop Your Wardrobe. And in this video we're going to talk about layering, and specifically layering on the bottom and the kind of options that you have for either modesty or warmth or other weather or environmental factors to give you extra coverage.
Yes, well, there's extra coverage and there may be extra warmth.
Right.
So in winter, and this is where I know when I've been to New York in the middle of winter, I have needed a pair of thermal underwear.
Right.
You know, long silk thermal underwear keeps you warm on the bottom.
Yeah.
And in fact, even there's parts of Australia I'd wear that thermal underwear too.
Yeah.
So there is things like that.
Yeah.
And then there's that kind of trans-seasonal, and that's often where layering comes in. In the middle of summer, it's really hot. Now, but the one thing that I do find is, say, something like a boy short. If you are in a hot, humid environment and your thighs are up together, you can get horrible chafing.
Yeah.
It's incredibly uncomfortable. So
is.
this is where sometimes a boy short style, you know, can really help to stop that sort of chafing.
Yeah. And I know women who don't wear skirts and dresses in summer for precisely that reason. They haven't found a solution for that problem, and it's just far too uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, boy shorts are great for that.
Yeah.
If you do have that. Generally, I'd say, though, is the boy short is something that we shouldn't really see.
Yeah.
So it's more of an underwear than a outerwear thing.
Yeah.
Then we're going into like leggings. There's lots of different sorts of leggings.
Aren't there ever? Jeggings and treggings and...
But even the difference between there's hosiery style leggings, which are basically just hosiery.
Yeah, to be worn under things.
To always be worn under things.
Yes.
So they're just hosiery. They're not thick enough.
Yeah.
Really, many of the leggings around these days are more the tregging, whereas the trouser legging, where it's a much thicker, it's like a ponty pant.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just a very fitted one.
Yeah.
There's jeggings, which are the jeans look-alike leggings. And it's that sort of thing that I really think that on the whole, leggings look better with something longer over the top.
Yeah.
So whether that is a tunic length top, sometimes I'll wear them with waterfall cardigans that come down to mid-thigh to knee.
Yeah.
Where it's covering, because one of the things is many leggings, even when they're thicker fabric, they're still not quite as maybe thick as pants are. And because they're tighter, if they stretch over your bottom, you may not see it. But sometimes underwear becomes visible under this.
Yeah.
And I've definitely stood behind people thinking, oh, they've got pink spotty underwear on.
Yeah. And I think sometimes you can tell the difference with the seaming of them. And if you look at a pair of stockings, the seaming is not perfect, and you can tell you're looking at underwear versus an outerwear item. And when you look at the finish of leggings that are meant to be worn where they're seen, the finish of the seams tells you it's an outerwear item of clothing. To me, I would never want to wear something that's clearly underwear. To me, that would be the equivalent of having my skirt sort of unfortunately tucked into the top of and walking around with, half my bottom showing.
Yes.
It'd be mortifying.
Right. So it's that sort of thing going, okay, it's got to be quite thick if you're going to wear it with something shorter.
Yeah.
Otherwise, fine with things like tunics, long waterfall cardigans, those sorts of layers.
Yeah.
And then there's the thinner legging, which can be worn under skirts and dresses and things like that. And they work really well. The thing I like about them is, particularly the hosiery style legging, is that, say if it's the middle of summer, but the mornings are cool or something, where you just go, I'm going to pop these leggings on, and then halfway through the day I could potentially take them off.
Yeah. And I have a bunch of coloured tights that I cut off at the knee that I wear in summer and parts of autumn and spring because I don't need them all the way down, or I'm wearing a sandal or a ballet flat that doesn't, it's going to look ridiculous with a full leg of tights on them. But I just want a little bit of coverage, and if I do get a little bit of blow up with my dress, then, I'm showing a little bit of yellow tight. And I don't mind that. I don't have them so that they show, but I don't mind so much that, and I wear them a lot in those trans-seasonal seasons.
So so I think, that's kind of, there's layering on the top, which are things like, you've got your cami layers and your knits, like often, and the thing with layering, and one of the biggest tips would have to be make the underlay, like when you're adding layer after layer after layer, it's better to layer many finer pieces than chunky pieces.
Yeah.
Your outside piece can be the chunkiest.
Yeah.
But really, when you're putting layer upon layer, because otherwise you're adding a real bulk.
Yeah.
So I'll generally say it's think about fine layers. Like I might do 3 fine merino knits when I'm really cold on top of each other, but they're all fine.
And I think there's a practical reason that works as well, is if you are taking them off during the warmest part of the day, and say you're out and about, I don't know, you're travelling or working, whatever, they're so much easier to carry around than if you've got a couple of big bulky things, you know, before you know it, you feel like the Michelin Man.
And it also allows you, I think, too, that where if you do have that extreme of temperature in the day where it starts off cool, that you've come out of the house with a great big coat and suddenly you go, I've got this coat, versus I can just take off one of my layers and still look the same essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm not changing my whole outfit, or we go, I really need this jacket to look good, and then suddenly it's too hot.
Yeah. And I mean, when you had on your navy jacket before, if that jacket was an important part of your ensemble, you could take off 2 layers and pop the jacket on over the top, and you would look essentially the same, but you've got that more formal jackety item on the top.
Yes.
And so it just gives you more options, I think, and that's what layering is about. To me, layering is options, not just the practical things to do with the weather, but also to do with the style. You know, one of the looks I really like is wearing the fairly simple pieces on the bottom and then a colourful caftan over the top.
Yes.
You've got a couple of photos of you in your beautiful zebra caftan. It is stunning.
And I think this is where the post I wrote about how to put an outfit together, like outfit formula. The layer is actually almost part of that formula. It's often it may be the hero piece.
Right.
I mean, like today, this is my hero piece. But, you know, often it's that layer that, especially when it's, you know, like a kimono. Don't want a cardigan? Go for a kimono, like a beautiful pattern kimono or something.
Wear two long sleeve things for the warmth, and put the kimono over the top.
Yeah. So there's lots of different options. There's lots of light layers, and you can be see-through. They can be opaque. Yeah. They can be lightweight. They can be pattern. They can be plain. You know, like maybe, you know, there's everything from jackets to cardigans, and there's sleeveless jackets to ponchos to
there's so many choices. Capeless.
Yes, you know. Yeah. Or you can just layer from the bottom up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's where, depending on your style, those things are always going to come into effect. But if you're thinking, well, do I need to add a hero because I need my statement, often that's where a great layer piece can come in.
Yeah.
It might be that they're all, say, you know, that my overlayers are all too hot and the weather is, so maybe that then my jewellery becomes my statement.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the whole point of it is to play around with it, do some trial and error, give yourself permission to do some fun things or things you've never tried before with layering. That's the beautiful thing about it, is you're not necessarily making a long-term commitment. You know, you can take it off.
You can divorce that layer if you want to.
Or just, you know, put it aside, have a separation for a period of time, and that's what makes it so much fun. And I think too, think about what you love. I think layering should be about love. What you love should be about options and love.
Yes, and practicality. Yeah. And I think that practicality always comes into this, about what is practical for you. Yeah. Now, because there are hot people and cold people, and so I know many of my hot clients. The thought of layering is actually almost quite horrendous. Yeah. Well, they'll just go, no, it's all too much. Yeah. And that's fine. And they, you know, their heroes may be just their leopard print top and their jewellery. Yeah, right. Versus someone who's like me, who's a cold person, may have to put on layers of finer things before we put on that hero piece over the top.
And that's a really good point, because I think I might be a hotter person, because I find a lot of the layers that I like have no sleeves in them. I think when you put the sleeve in them, there's just something about that just immediately increases my temperature. And so a lot of the layering pieces that I have a few that are collars. That's the layer. It's a collar. And to me, that's what's so exciting about it, is you get to pick and choose this stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully we've given you just a few ideas about layering and how to put things together. But really, I look at, you know, the style, how things work together, are the colours related, all those sorts of things, of course, come into it. And then there's those practical elements, you know, weight and weather and what we prefer. Because, of course, in the end, it's what you like.